Hey, sister.
Hey, sister.
How are you?
I'm so good. Into the new year, feeling good.
Yes, into the new year. I'm actually feeling good too, since we got through with our holiday time. I've been really exercising and eating really good. So I hope kicking off that way, I will keep it up.
Are you really regimented on Rain Man? Are you snack at 5, Wapner at 5?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I loved revisiting Rain Man last week. I loved it. I've forgotten how much I loved it.
It was so good. I would just go watch it again right now. It was so good. It was really
I know. I don't need to wait so long next time to see it.
To do a rewatch on that. Well, we are really shifting gears this week into something much lighter and very early 80s for movie entertainment.
Yes, it is. It's one that, we'll just have to get into it. So I say, real fans, it's time to dive into, we don't know if you guessed it last week or not, but we're diving into Splash.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Missy. And this is Real Sisters Rewind.
Join us as we go back to the 80s. All right. Hey, real fans. Welcome back to Real Sisters Rewind, back to the 80s. We're two sisters who love movies and love taking you back to the ones that defined a decade, which I think is really why we chose this movie for this week's podcast. And we'll say a lot more about that as we talk through it. But
that's right. And if you're enjoying the podcast, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating, write a quick review, and download it each week.
Yes, that helps us a lot, especially that download. When you do, take a screenshot and email it to hello@realsistersrewind.com. Now, you might be saying to yourself as you listen to this, oh, I mean to do that every week and I forget. Do it this week. Because if you do, we're going to mail you a Real Sister sticker as a thank you to spread the word about the podcast.
That's right. Okay, real fans, let's rewind to 1984.
Splash opened in theaters on March 9th, 1984.
I was 15, and sister, I'm guessing you were 7-ish.
Yes.
7-ish, yeah. Do you remember seeing it? It seemed my first memory, I feel like I saw it with you.
I 100% saw it in a theater.
Okay.
I vividly remember that. I vividly remember this movie as a child, and even rewatching it, remembered feelings I felt when I was watching it. I don't know who I was with though. I just know I saw it in the theater.
I swear I feel like we saw it together in the theater.
I'll just say here, because we're talking about the first time we saw it, I remember vividly loving this movie.
Yeah.
Loving it. I
remember liking it as well. I don't know that I loved it. I never really loved Daryl Hannah in any movie. But I loved Tom Hanks from Bosom Buddies, and I liked the movie, but I don't remember it, but I know we were together when we saw it.
And I will say this, I loved Bosom Buddies too. So I loved Tom Hanks. I didn't know Daryl Hannah, but I guess as a 7-year-old, the idea of a mermaid was very appealing to me.
I'm sure.
So I was willing to really, as we've talked about before, suspend reality.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid loving this movie so much.
Yeah.
So let's dive into our pop culture spotlight and see what was going on around the time that Splash came out. So this week, I just have to say this too. real fans, as I'm looking at the list of not just top 10, but top 20 songs during this time, like this week, I could sing every single one of these. I could
Yeah,
sing
there
every
were a
single
lot
one.
of great. There were a lot of great songs in
Yeah.
80. Uh-huh.
And so the number one spot went to Jump by Van Halen. Might as
Come
well.
on, jump, jump.
And that is interesting because, well, Thriller was at number 4, so it must have fallen because it spent forever at number
Yeah.
1.
Well, the number one just before this was come a
Come on,
chameleon, which I guess it dropped from being number one to being number 6.
Yeah. Yeah, it went way on down. Um, I also want to say the number 3 spot, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Cyndi Lauper, love it. We have to do the movie. Girls Just Want to Have Fun from the 80s. That's a one we need to do.
I'm
A lot
trying
of
to
people have
think who
asked
said
about that.
they loved it and wanted to do that one with us. It seems like
I
somebody
know
wanted to
one.
come
Well, I've
back.
had multiple people, but I know for sure one shout out to Stacy Metz. Really wanted us to do Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
I'm thinking it was Amanda Thompson who
Maybe
also
so.
said that.
Mhm.
I have a t-shirt that says Girls Just Want to Have Fun with big lips on it, and I'm going to wear that whenever we record it. Not that anyone sees us, but it'll just be
It'll
for
be
the
fun.
we'll take a screenshot.
I just want to say also, oh my gosh, Footloose is on here. Let the music play. We won't get away. I want to do drug. But what I really am getting my attention called to is number 11. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like that. That's the Eurythmics. There's so many on here. I can't get over it.
I know. Well, the one that cracked me up when I saw it was Ya'll be there. Because when I was young and that song would play, I thought it said, I will be there.
It's with
So
Michael
what does
McDonald.
Yamo be there mean? I don't know.
Who
I
knows?
need to research that. Well, on television, as usual, I was thinking as I was preparing and doing my research about the television, like it was like there were a few shows that reigned for the entire decade.
I
And I
know.
was going to say that's so different from today. However, if you really went and looked, which I didn't, but I just know this to be true, like that, dun, 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 what is that show? SVU,
Law and Order.
Law and Order. I think you would probably see that it reigned over and over and over again.
That's true.
Maybe I'll look into that for an upcoming episode to
Yeah,
see
and I think
what.
it's hard to compare because we're looking at like broadcast network TV.
Right.
Now I think people don't watch as much network TV. And so we think about like streaming shows that come and go quickly.
Yeah, I agree. But like Law and Order, they have the SVU and they have all these different ones. And then
Oh, what is it? NCSI?
yeah, something like that. And then you had Grey's Anatomy that reigned for a long time. It's like some of these big like franchise type shows
Yeah.
just are there. And Dallas was dominating in the 83-84 season. Again, we didn't watch it from our house because that was a CBS show. But I also, I like to go and check out tvtango.com because they'll show you what was on that day. And so
Yeah.
I like to look around it. And I forgot about something that used to be really big. And so this would have been early 80s. And actually all through the 80s, you'd have like, Monday night movie of the week or Wednesday
Yes.
night movie of the week.
Huge. Yep.
Because you weren't able to go and rent that movie for especially like early 80s. And you didn't have a way to watch movies outside the theater. And so
Yeah.
they would show them like the Sunday night movie of the week, the Thursday night movie of the week. And I noticed that on, when I was looking at the old TV guide shows. And here's an interesting fact about the movie of the week. Splash actually became one of the most frequently aired romantic comedies on cable television in the late 80s and 90s.
I believe that. Yeah, I could totally see that, and I probably watched it on TV a lot. Um, I loved that how they would do that, how they would, show movies on TV. But what I really loved was a TV movie of the week, like made for TV movie of the week.
Yeah. And you know
Like,
what? That's a great comparison to the way like shows stream now. Like I love a good show that is created to stream as compared. You don't really see like CBS,
mhm.
ABC, NBC creating movies anymore. Now it's kind of all the like Lifetime movie of the week and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good point.
Okay, so People Magazine, this was a very special edition because this marked the special anniversary edition.
10 years.
I know. So People Magazine didn't start until 1974.
74. Yeah.
I thought it started like way before that.
No.
Well, that's really that is a fascinating fact just to put away to know for like Trivia Pursuit or something. Because if
Yeah.
I had to guess that, I would have thought that it started in like the 40s or something. Um, but
You know,
this is a cool cover because it's got the top 10 celebrities of these 10 years. And well, I guess I don't know if it's of the 10
no.
years or it's right now. It's of right now. Um, we've
Well, I
got
think it's as I'm looking at it differently. It's got the top 10 celebrities in the issue, but on the outside are some of their most popular People magazine covers. Like
I see.
see how it's People magazine
Yep.
covers?
Yeah.
And look, the very first movie we ever did
I
on
know
Real
it's on there,
Sisters,
ET.
ET, when it was on the cover of People magazine, it made it. And the TV show that we've talked about so much, Dallas, is on the cover with a Who Shot JR episode.
I know. We've got Jackie Kennedy.
Yeah.
Of course, Princess Diana, Farrah Fawcett,
Yeah. John Travolta.
Dolly. Oh my gosh, but look, Goldie Hawn.
Do you remember my friend April Coates?
Uh-huh.
She looks
She
just
looks
like
just
her
like
in
her
that
in this
picture.
picture.
I know. I need to send it to her.
Like it doesn't even really look like Goldie Hawn. It's so crazy.
It looks like April Coates.
Crazy. So anyway, this is a cool cover, I think.
It is a cool cover, and I, like you, was shocked to see that People had only started in 1974.
Do you see Farrah Fawcett there on the cover?
Yeah.
Do you remember, speaking of TV movies, The Burning Bed?
Oh my gosh, that was such a great one.
Girl, they still play that thing on Lifetime. Like they will
Yeah.
still pull that out.
And then what about the one where she played the mom that pulled over? What was the name of that? She pulled
I don't
over on the
know.
side
I
of the
call it
road.
Hungry Like the Wolf because that's the music she was playing. I don't
Yeah.
know what.
She did a fantastic job in that movie.
Yeah, her name was Diane. That's
Yes, Diane. Okay, let's go into Do You Remember, Sister? Did you bring one?
I did. And I
Okay,
can
let's
share
hear
a
it.
picture for our real fans if we need to. Do you remember Anae Anae?
The perfume?
The perfume.
Because some people would call it anise anise.
Well, my friends, we called it Anae Anae.
Anae, yeah, I think that was the correct way, but I do think people, because it was like ANIS or something like that.
ANIS, yeah.
Yeah.
And it had the flowers. It was like the white little dome top, and it had the flowers on the.
Yeah.
Look, if you did not have, no matter what kind of perfume you had, if you didn't have a bottle of Anae Anae, what were you even doing with yourself in the 80s?
True.
Everybody had Anae Anae. Everybody.
Yes. You're exactly right.
And it was like, in our minds, like classy, fancy stuff.
Oh, it was. It had I remember it was a really sweet smell.
You for sure had it. Like,
oh, yeah, I did.
Like, I very vividly remember.
For sure I did. For sure. Small Sacrifices was the name of that movie with Farrah Fawcett where she
Yep.
played Diane
Yeah, because she
Small,
killed her
Sacrifices.
kids. Yep.
Yes, it was horrible. It's horrible. Okay, can I go to my, do you
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
Okay, so just the other day, I was, for the, during the holiday season, I was trying to find a picture on my phone. And so I was looking for a picture because I wanted to get a copy for somebody. I actually had already printed it and I wanted to get a copy. Do you remember whenever you wanted to get like multiple copies of a picture and you were like, I had it. So you go to like the Eckerd's like envelope and you had to pull out the negative and like hold the negative up to
Yep.
the light.
Yep, to try to find it.
And yeah, and if they were similar, you weren't sure which one you
You
should
just need to
get.
go ahead and get both.
Yes. But the thing about it is if you had taken a special picture, but you had only done one click, it's not like just when we were together over New Year's, sister, we were looking at some pictures we had taken at Thanksgiving, and somebody had taken it and just shot,
Yeah, we're like 30.
took it. There was none of that.
No.
But if you had to find a picture, you were lifting those negatives up to the light.
Yep.
And then if you found two that were similar, it was trouble. You did. You
How
just
would
had to
you
get them.
then, but I don't remember this. How would you then go get those developed? Would you just say, I want
You
this?
would have to take the negative. You'd take that strip of see-through negative into CVS and you'd fill out a form that said
Girl,
like,
not CVS, Eckerd.
well, it was Eckerd's then, or
A and B.
Walgreens, A and B, K and B, not
K
A
and
and
B.
B, A and P. A and P was the grocery store. K and B was the
Yep.
Walgreens type
K
store.
and B, Eckerd.
Yeah. All right, sister, let's get into talking about the movie.
Great. All right, so Splash was directed, this is so surprising to me. I did not know, by Ron Howard, who was
Yes.
still early in his directing career when the movie came out. And the screenplay was written by Bruce J. Friedman and Lowell Gons and Babaloo Mandel. And they would actually go on to write several major comedies in the decade.
Well, the movie helped launch Ron Howard actually as a serious film director, like beyond his acting career. Because I think up until then he had maybe directed some Happy Days and some Laverne and Shirley's, but this put him into that director mode of film.
Moved him
Like,
beyond just Opie.
right, exactly. I wouldn't say it's a serious film director, but
Right.
he was directing a film. And so it was kind of his like big break for that.
Yeah,
and
his coming
also, yeah, and it was also similarly that big break for Tom Hanks, who stars as Alan Bauer. It was one of his first major leading roles in feature film. And Tom Hanks has actually said that this role established him as more of a romantic leading man and not just a sitcom actor.
Yeah, because he was probably, I don't know where he was in his bosom buddies journey at this point.
Right.
I could totally see that.
You know what though? And even when like in this movie, like Tom Hanks just isn't the kind that you would peg for a romantic leading man.
Right, that's what I'm agree, but he plays it well.
He does, but I would have
For the right kind of movie.
I even remember back in the day thinking, like
This guy.
yeah, he just didn't come across like that.
He wasn't fine. He was no Tom Cruise.
Right, exactly.
He wasn't a hottie.
Yeah, not at all.
Well, Daryl Hannah is the quote unquote the mermaid in the movie, and she winds up being Madison is her name, and she's at the center of the story. And this is a role that really became one of her most recognizable performances at the time.
Yeah. I think everybody it was such kind of an offbeat role, and people were mesmerized by it, and she became known as that. Did you know that because of her name being Madison, that it became one of the most popular baby girls' names after the film's release? Is that why you named your Madison Madison, is after this movie?
It is absolutely not, but that's really cool.
I know. I thought so too. And then, of course, we have John Candy, who is Alan's brother, Freddie. And he brings that like warm, familiar, comedic presence to the film. And then we're introduced to Eugene Levy, who is so popular now from Schitt's Creek, and he appears in a small role as the scientist that studies Madison. And I thought he was hysterical in the
He's
movie.
funny, and his role is small, but it's very important.
It is very important, and he plays it
Integral
well.
to the story.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I read, and this is not going to be a surprise when you said John Candy, or it made me think of this. He improvised several moments, particularly in the scenes where we saw like Alan having the business dealings, because they had that like wholesale food business. So a seasoned comedian like that often gets away with and does a good job with improv, and so it doesn't surprise me that he was able to do that, and it made it into the film.
Yeah.
Well, the movie's rated PG, which was probably how I got to see it in the theaters, and it runs for 1 hour and 51 minutes.
Yeah. So it's rated PG, but Chris watched it with me and swears he saw a boob. I did
too,
not see a boob. I did not. I thought like I saw a side like lump, but like not like areola nipple.
No, it was very murky in the tank. It's like when she presses against it when she's like sees him or is trying to escape or something. It's very murky, and her hair's like coming down also. But in the 80s they'll get naked. So
yeah, but it was PG, and it was that kind of that breakout for the Touchstone Pictures. Like I feel like
they didn't have PG-13 yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it wasn't R. Like it definitely wasn't R.
No, it definitely wasn't R.
So they probably
that all makes sense now. Okay.
I don't think they had PG-13 yet.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't think they did for sure, because this would have been Disney's Touchstones. Yeah, so it wouldn't have been. Well, it was made on a budget of about $11 million, and it earned nearly $70 million at the box office. And so it was one of the biggest hits of 1984, which actually surprised the execs because they did not initially expect it to become such a big hit.
Well, that was, even though they were surprised, that was, a reasonable hypothesis, I believe.
Yeah.
But I will say, we were talking about let me back up before we get into this. I wanted to say the budget of $11 million, that kind of surprises me with the water scenes they had to do and the table and all that. That seems like it could have been a little bit pricier to me, but that's kind of neat. And we were talking about how this was really Disney, but it was establishing Touchstone Pictures as a studio for the more adult side of Disney.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about also when we were talking about with not the comedians, the screenplay writers earlier, and how they went on to, write more comedies. I wanted to say here also, talking about the types of films and all that they also won the National Society for Film Critics Award for Best Screenplay.
Wow, that's shocking to me.
Shocking. But they were also, to me, this is not as shocking as the Screenplay Award. They were nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Picture for musical or comedy. That doesn't surprise me.
I can see that,
as the Film Critics Screenplay Award.
Yeah, that's something. That's something else.
That's something to behold. Right?
Yeah, it is.
We would need to look back at the nominees.
We do. See who they were up against. All right, real fans, it's time to leave dry land. You get what I'm doing there. And jump into a love story that made us all believe in something a little unexpected. Let's wade off into Splash.
All right, so to kick us off, we start off in the before times. It was 1964. We see Alan as a young boy, and he's on this boat tour with his family in Cape Cod. And I really thought there was going to be something to come out of this. Like his dad was a jerk. Like his dad would, I don't know if they, like nothing ever came from it. And so I don't know if they were just trying to be like, oh, dads were jerk. Like I don't really know the point, but his dad was a real booty. And
Well, his brother was a real perv.
well, that too, but
That got me. Like, I was like, it would have been funny if the kid had done it one time, but
uh-huh,
like looking up under the ladies' dresses,
right.
like on and
Again,
on. And then again, we see him do it as an adult.
as
That
an
would
adult.
not fly in
I
today's
was
movies,
I was just about to say
right?
the unhinged 80s
I
that would
know it.
not be well received
It
today.
would not.
But yeah, I didn't really understand why they made the dad seem like such a jerk, but he was.
Yeah, they never brought it back into the storyline.
No, they didn't. But this is where we get the first meeting of the mermaid, aka Madison, and Alan, because Alan jumps into the water and he encounters this mermaid, and
And he can't swim.
he can't swim. Um, but he breathes underwater briefly when she touches his hand. She gives him a kiss, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And just a little fascinating fact here is that the mermaid tail weighed over 35 pounds, making it really hard to move during the underwater scenes. That would be a little scary. And because it was so heavy, Daryl Hannah required assistance between takes because she couldn't walk while she was wearing the big old tail.
Well, a lot of times she would actually just stay in the water. And they would like bring her her lunch and stuff, and she would just stay in the water and eat because it was such a hullabaloo.
Oh, that makes
Such a
sense.
hullabaloo. Yeah. And one other thing I was going to talk about that because there's so many underwater scenes that a lot of them were filmed in a large tank rather than open water so that they could control the lighting and the safety.
Yeah.
And I might have planned to say it somewhere later, but I'll throw it in here. The filming schedule went long because it took so much out of Daryl Hannah. She would
Oh,
have to
sure.
have these more extensive breaks.
Yeah.
And the underwater scenes were really hard on Tom Hanks because he was a smoker. He really struggled with them.
Oh, I would have never pegged him for a
I
smoke.
know, I wouldn't have either, but the research showed it.
Well, smoking brings you nothing good.
Don't be a joke. Don't smoke. Wasn't there some kind of commercial like that in the 80s?
Probably so. Um, but I that kind of takes me back to the 11 million one. Like I'm surprised it didn't cost more because it seems like that would have been it would have been a difficult thing to film.
Yeah.
That
Because
hullabaloo.
they had to have all these specialty cameras for underwater
Right.
and all kinds. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right. Well, after the boat situation, he gets rescued and brought back up to the boat. And that then takes us to present day for when the movie came out, which was 1984.
1984.
And he lives in New York. And as an adult, we are with him now, he co-owns this wholesale produce business with his brother Freddie, who we said John Candy. He's very eccentric. And we meet him when he wheels up in his fancy sports car and like runs into several flats of cherries. It's really funny. And it really stood out to me immediately how young Tom Hanks looked.
He does. He looks so young.
I was like, oh my gosh, he looks like a baby. And then this is just a sidebar, but I think she's like the secretary at the produce company, Mrs. Stemwell. She's the
She's
secretary
on
from Greece.
Grease. Yes. I know. I recognized
I
her.
was like, oh my gosh, here she is in Splash. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just an interesting little sidebar.
Yes.
So Freddie's annoyed because he's telling a story about having a meeting that could be a big partnership for them. And Freddie, who is trying to talk to Alan about it is like annoyed because Alan doesn't really seem to care. Like it's not, it doesn't seem to be that important to him. Um, because just about this time, Alan's getting a call where his girlfriend is breaking up with him.
Yeah, it's like he cannot keep a relationship.
Right. Like
And
we
we
get
get
that
that
vibe.
vibe. Like he can't commit. Like
He
she's
can't
saying, I
commit.
love you. He can't say it back.
Yep, because he's talking to her on the phone as she's moving out, and he's like, "What can I do? What can we do to work this out? How can you stay?" And apparently, she says to him on the other end, "I love you," but he can't say it back to her, and
Yeah.
so we clearly understand why Victoria is out.
Yeah.
Um, and so we also get a little bit more insight to that when he is attending a wedding of one of his coworkers and he's with Freddie. Um, and he tells Freddie something's just not right with his heart.
Yeah. It's like we know. I mean, I knew it from that first. Like he's just like, can't commit. And then he has the realization.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He just cannot. Yes, he has he knows that this is a deficiency on his part. Like he's recognized that. Um, so he's like, I need to get away. I'm going to go to Cape Cod. That's where I feel connected,
To something.
to something, right? Of course, we know it's probably the mermaid that he swam with when he was a kid.
He had an encounter with.
Well, when he gets to Cape Cod, this is where we meet Eugene Levy, and he is Dr. Walter Bluff. And he's eccentric, he's a scientist, and he is obsessed with proving mermaids exist. And he's at this point, I feel like pretty shady. Like he's funny,
Yeah.
but he's also shady. Like you don't get the idea that he's
On the up and
on
up.
the up and up
Yeah.
by any means. And so Alan is trying to get to the other side of the island or to the correct part or whatever. He's going to have to travel by water. And so after he meets the scientist, he asks the scientist to take him, but they won't take him. So he finds a guy, Fat Jack,
Oh my gosh, this was
it
hysterical.
was really funny, to hop in his motorboat and take him over to the island. But in the middle of the trip over, Fat Jack's motorboat, it quits working. And so Fat Jack leaves Alan in the boat. He like jumps out to swim and to go get another boat. Well, Alan sits there for a while and then he's like, I got to try to get this boat working. Well, when he does, he stands up. He's like hitting the motor. All of a sudden, the motor turns on, hits him, knocks him unconscious. He loses his balance, falls into the ocean. And when he does, he also loses his wallet.
Yes, it goes to the bottom of the
Ocean.
ocean. Yes.
So, of course, we know from earlier he can't swim.
Right.
So he's going down, like you said, to the bottom of the ocean. And next thing we know, he's being rescued and he wakes up on a beach
Mm-hmm.
with a beautiful naked woman. And as a kid, I remember being not comfortable with her being naked.
I
And
didn't even like the word naked when I was young.
she could not, she didn't speak. And again, attention, 1980s, she is naked. They have a brief kiss, and she dives back into the ocean where we get a glimpse of the mermaid tail because she's swimming around.
Yes.
But he doesn't see the mermaid tail. We see it. We also know that his wallet is down at the bottom of the ocean.
Yep.
So I just need to pause here.
Okay, pause.
So, like I said, I did not like her being naked. Also, this is a good point where I started thinking as an adult watching this that I wasn't quite sure why I loved this movie so much.
Probably, I mean, there wasn't anything about mermaids at the time. Like you didn't have the Little Mermaid. So it was the first kind of mythical girl type.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It definitely, I got Little Mermaid vibes for sure. I was like,
Oh, I
okay,
did too.
real?
And it was based on a novel, actually. The movie was based on a novel about that, also, I think, led to The Little Mermaid as well.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she ends up searching and finding his wallet down at the bottom of the beautiful briny sea. And then, oh my gosh, this is, she takes the wallet, looks at his ID, and she finds a sunken ship with a map so
Yep.
she could figure out where that is.
Yep.
And
Suspend reality. Suspend reality.
major suspend reality because it's like an old ship with like a whatever. Okay. So, she also at this time encounters the sketchy scientist underwater, but she swims away before he can get a picture, of course. So
Yes.
that's like a whole nother like silly dynamic that's happening on the side because it's not serious. Like it feels
No,
very,
it is very silly. It
it
feels
feels
kind
very
of Three
silly.
Stooges-ish.
Yes, yes.
Yes, it
Also,
does.
when she was underneath the water, the music reminded me of the music of the Little Mermaid. Like
Oh,
the
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
it was very like Little Mermaid-ish.
Well, let me say this, talking about the mermaid
Wait,
and the tail
and
and
that
all
was
that.
Disney.
Oh,
So many.
that's true. That's true. But one thing, and Miles would love the fact that we can recall this, but the mermaid effects were all practical effects. Remember, he taught us that word?
Mm,
Because CGI wasn't available at the time.
yeah,
And so all
that
the
heavy
effects that
tail.
we see were the things that they had to do practically.
Like she had to really swim with that big old tail.
Yes. And I did read something in my research that something like when she was at camp as a kid, there were races that she would have to do. You would have to swim like with your 2 feet together.
Hmm.
And that she felt like that helped her
I
with
guess
the
so.
mermaid effects. Yeah.
I just would have liked it better if they had given her some shell covers on her boobies.
Yeah.
As a kid, I know I would have definitely liked that.
Yeah.
So, real uncomfortable here. I felt real uncomfortable as a child. Like, I remembered as I was watching it, I was like, I remembered as a child feeling like, when you have that dream where you like get to school and you're like, oh my gosh, where are my clothes? Like that kind of a dream.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
how I felt as a child watching her arrive at the Statue of Liberty with no clothes
Yeah.
because she arrived with no clothes, not thinking anything of it. And everyone else was like, oh my gosh, she doesn't have clothes on. And it was like this really awkward feeling. And she is arrested right then and there for indecent exposure. Um, and the police find Alan's wallet on her, I
Right.
guess in her hand. And so they think that she's stolen the wallet.
Yeah. I want to say something here that drove me crazy. Like she found the map, she makes her way to New York City. She's naked,
As a
but
jailbird.
she can't talk. But, yeah. Like she can't yeah, it
But she
really
figured all that out.
yeah, she figured it all out. Yep.
Hmm. I do think they put a t-shirt on her or something at this
They
point.
did put a t-shirt on
I
her
was
at
starting to feel
some
a
point.
little bit better. Um, okay. And we will say real fast, if you've never seen this, which I'm sure you probably have, her hair was super long, so it covered everything intentionally. But like you could see just a little bit of her bottom and just like
Yeah.
so
But I can imagine you as a child because um you were modest as a child, like,
yeah.
and kind of shy with that. Like, I can imagine you being like mortified, embarrassed.
Yeah, I just remember being uncomfortable. But they find Alan's wallet, and so they call or they get in touch with Alan because they're like, we have your wallet.
Right.
So he comes down to the police station of course, their eyes, they get eye contact and it's love at first sight. Well, I
Ugh,
guess second sight or third sight.
yeah.
And I will say, I loved the line, this part of the script here. Policeman says to Alan, I take it you know her? And Alan says, yeah, I do. And the policeman said, who is she? And he said, I don't know.
Yeah, I loved that.
So it's just
Because
funny
it's like
because
their
he was like,
souls knew each other.
yeah,
I mean,
like I
that's
know
how
her, but I don't know
deep
her
the
name.
writers probably wanted us to go. Their souls knew each other.
Right. And he even says later, like, yeah, I know her, but don't ask me her name.
Yeah. Well, when they leave from there and he takes her to his apartment,
Oh my gosh.
it grossed me out. Like she was all over
Me too.
him,
I was
and
like,
they're in
she
the
just,
elevator, and
yes.
and they, they take a pause, and it just leaves us knowing what we know was happening, and
I was like, is
it
she just like,
nympho.
yeah, like a hornball? Like, what? I don't
It
understand.
was it was horrible. I mean, like so much so that like he couldn't get away from her.
Yeah. He was like, one of the quotes he said was, you're going to put me in the hospital.
Yeah. Gross.
Well, he finally does get away and he goes to work, leaves her in front of the TV, tells her not to go anywhere. And as she sits in front of in front of the TV for one afternoon, again, this is unhinged.
Really, just a couple of hours.
Yeah. She learns English.
I mean, the entire English language, basically.
She's pretty much ready to roll.
Yep.
And she just goes ahead. She puts on one of Alan's suits and she hits the pavement. She's out.
Going to Bloomingdale's.
She asked the doorman where's Bloomingdale's, and
She saw a commercial.
she saw a commercial, so she goes to Bloomingdale's. And the lady that helps her just thinks she's gorgeous. She's like a model, so she helps her find all this stuff. And I'm like, how are you buying all that? He didn't like give her a credit card or anything, did he?
He didn't, but we're suspending reality because it
Or
was 1984.
a lot of suspending reality because she bought a lot of packages.
Yes, she did.
And Bloomingdale's is not cheap.
No,
So,
it isn't.
of course, Alan comes home. She's not there. He freaks out. The doorman sends him to Bloomingdale's and he finds her there while she is in front of the TV doing her exercises, which is pretty hysterical.
It is. It made me think of you, and it made me also think of Elf when he's in Gimbals.
Right. When they get out in New York and she just
Yes.
is like discovering everything. It is
Yes.
such an Elf moment. I'm
It
like,
is.
this is definitely.
Okay, so here's a question.
Okay.
For that moment, Elf or Splash?
What do you mean?
Which one is better?
Oh, Elf.
By far. Okay.
Yeah. And his is like a childlike wonderment. Hers is just, I don't know, definitely Elf. But it was that vibe, which is
It
good,
was that vibe, yes.
which is good. That's a good thing.
And while they're out and about, it
Yeah.
comes up that she can only be there 6 days.
Yeah.
And he's like, is it some sort of immigration problem? Like, he's going to handle it for her if it is.
And he totally does think that it's an immigration problem. Like,
Yeah.
he thinks that for a long time. Like, that's
Yeah.
what he thinks.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the way through into the end. So we're thinking at this point, like, when's he going to find out she's a mermaid? Right? That's going to
Can
be.
he not remember her kissing him on the beach or when he
Right.
was a child?
Well, he's not. They're still having all their embarrassing shenanigans. And one night while he's asleep, I guess she gets the hankering to go get that mermaid tail back on.
She's got to get in the water.
She gets in the water, she does a bath, she even pours in some sea salt, and all of a sudden, we see in the bathtub, it's her tail. It's kind of cool. Like, her tail's pretty good.
Yeah.
And while she's in the bathtub, he starts knocking on the door. And she's trying to tell him, not to come in. And she's fine. She's fine. She even like gets herself out of the bathtub. She's trying to blow dry her tail so she can get dry. And he keeps on, he keeps on, he keeps on. Finally, he busts in the door. And I remember like, this girl, why are you busting in the door? He was like freaking out. And she was clearly in there taking a bath. And I was
Right.
like, a girl needs her bath time. Like,
A
why are you?
girl needs her bath.
I'm like, why are you being a psycho
Did you
about?
see the Morton salt
Oh, yeah.
container there? But, if you think about it, like, honestly, there are so many times in my everyday life, sometimes twice a day, sometimes more than that, where I'm like, I've got to get my bath. And I did think about that, like her being a mermaid, like she needed to get her bath on.
Yeah. But yeah. And it was just like, I just didn't understand why. It's like, why is he like jumping to the conclusion that something's wrong?
I don't know.
So I was like, calm down, Alan, calm down.
True.
Um, and I even remember as a kid that scene was kind of weird to me. Like as a
Yeah.
kid, I was uncomfortable again. I don't
Yeah.
know why I loved this movie so much as a child. Um, so it jumps now to I thought this was a funny scene where he's playing racquetball with his brother Freddie, and he's
He-
he's smoking
Smoking.
his racquetball.
Oh
And
my
it's
gosh, that was so
hilarious.
funny.
And I was thinking, it just kind of hit me because, like, I don't know anybody that plays racquetball anymore, but I always hear about people playing pickleball. I'm like, pickleball is the racquetball
It's
of
a new racquetball.
the new
But
racquetball.
racquetball was so huge. You remember
It was,
Daddy's friend, Mr. Sidney, owned the racquetball club
oh, I know.
downtown Hattiesburg.
We
Like
had
that was so
t-shirts.
far from Oak Grove. And I got a membership down there. I would drive down to the racquetball club. It was also a gym. And Tracy and I would go down there and like work out until the wellness center opened up closer to our house. Like it was
You
such a
didn't
big
play
deal.
racquetball.
And you know what? I think I did go in there once, like rent some rackets and went in there and played around with it. Of course, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean,
I don't think I ever, where was it?
it was so, where the Triangle Seafood store is, like
Yeah.
down there. So it was like you're going to downtown Hattiesburg and there's a cemetery there and you like turn and you go back up in there. It was
Is it anything
super
now?
nice. I don't know. I doubt it.
Crazy. Well, that's crazy. I wonder why it was there.
But
Why?
I'm pretty sure people didn't smoke on the racquetball court there. But
Pretty sure
you
that.
never know. They
Pretty
might
sure.
have.
I am cracking up that you and Tracy would go there and work out.
Oh, yeah. We surely would.
What kind of workout?
Like machines and I don't know. I just remember going. I remember it was before you had smoothies or anything, and you could get like some kind of like a smoothie shake type thing. Like it was a really cool place to go. Actually, I think they also had cocktails at night. Now, I was only 15. I wasn't having cocktails.
Cocktails
I
at the
do
racquetball.
believe you could get cocktails at the racquetball club.
Well, I remember the t-shirts. We
Yeah.
had some of the t-shirts. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
the
Yeah.
little racquetball. Okay, sorry. Sidebar, real fans. Interesting stuff. Did anybody else have a racket club? That's the question.
Sure.
But yes, pickleball is the new racquetball. So while they're playing racquetball, he's telling Freddie about some of Madison's strange behavior, which we've
Yeah.
already named a good bit of it.
Right. But he's still like falling in love with her.
Yeah, even
But
when she eats the whole dadgum lobster.
well, that's what I was going to
Shell
say
and
when
all.
they're eating the lobster. Okay, so I have a story about this. When they go out to eat and she's eating a lobster, so it is, if you haven't seen it, we'll tell you like she's got a plate of a whole lobster and she picks it up and she just bites the main body part and is just ripping it apart. And so a couple things, she would be what you would call today vegan, like she doesn't eat any
Right.
living thing. And so inside the lobster was mashed potatoes and hearts of
Oh, wait, you mean
palm.
Daryl Hannah was vegan?
Yes, Jill
Oh,
Hannah was. And so in real life she was like vegan. I don't think you would have called it vegan then. But so it was mashed potatoes and hearts of palm, and the hearts of palm were cut long ways rather than like the way they are now. I love hearts of palm, by the way.
Me too.
And but she would cry during takes because she felt like she was just like destroying a lobster skeleton. So
Okay.
she's a little bit
Not have been
emo with her beliefs. Yeah.
could not have been friends with her. I don't have patience for that. Sorry, real fans, if you're it's fine if you're vegan, but I can't deal with that with the shell. But yeah, she's
Well,
like
with crying about the shell.
right.
Right, yeah.
Especially when you're getting paid to be an actress, a
Right.
movie star in a movie that no telling how much she got paid. So, okay.
Eat the mashed potatoes.
Right, girl, and your heart's a palm.
Yeah.
She continues, like we said, to do some of these weird things, like eating the lobster. She buys this huge fountain for his apartment because she's, says she does it because she loves him.
That fountain is in Disney at the studio, Hollywood Studios.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So
Yeah.
I'll have to look for that. Well,
Yeah.
and now that I know the connection, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So he continues to just fall in love with her.
He's fallen in love with her.
He falls in love with her. And he first actually proposes marriage to her here, but he kind of does it under the guise of needing to stay in America.
Right. You can
Her
stay
needing-
longer than 6 days because I'll
Yes.
marry you. Yeah.
So they go ice skating. And this is where he like proposes for real.
Yeah.
Because at first he's like, I mean, what do you think? We could get married so you don't have to go back in 6 days. And she doesn't really answer. But then when they go ice skating, he like really asks her. And he does not get the response he hoped for. She gets upset. And I have to say, this was like the one point in the movie where I thought she looked really pretty.
She did look
A
pretty.
little dress, and I just thought she looked really pretty here.
Because she doesn't have a look. She's got a very unique look about her, but she's not a star that I think, oh my gosh, she's
gorgeous.
beautiful. But remember on that People magazine not long ago, we were talking about her. She was on a People magazine, and I was like, look how beautiful she looks. So she can look beautiful, but in general, I don't think of her as a Hollywood hottie. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. So he doesn't get the response that he wants. But they do reconnect and they argue, and she actually runs away actually, let me go back. She runs away from him. This is before they reconnect. And she jumps into the ocean, like, to hell with it. But she goes back to Alan. They reconnect, and she says yes, that she will marry him. Now, we know as an audience, and I don't think we've said this, that if she doesn't go back after 6 days when the moon's full, it's not like she turns into a pumpkin. She just can never go back to be a mermaid.
Right.
She would be full human.
Right.
So we know that behind the scenes.
I mean, after that shopping spree at Bloomingdale's, you'd be tempted.
Right? I mean, at some point, she's made that clear to us.
Yeah, right.
So we can't forget about the scientist who's trying to discover mermaids.
Dr. Cornbluth.
So he starts following the couple, and this is really funny. He thinks if he can splash her with water, he will expose her identity because her mermaid tail will pop out.
Right.
So
and he wants to get a picture of it.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to great lengths to make sure this happens. And it's failure after failure. And he's like,
very Three Stooges-ish, very
like he thinks it's
slapstick.
Madison. He sprays them with water, and then it's somebody else on the street. Right.
And then the couple that he sprays in the elevator, it's the same couple.
It's the same couple over
on the tree.
100%.
It's ridiculous comedy.
Yes. So we are having to remember here that he actually remembers after she says, yes, I'll marry you. He's so excited and all this stuff that they have the presidential dinner to go to it's like that night. Again, suspend reality. And I will say, she's of course says yes, she'll go. And she's got on that like turquoise looking dress. Again, she looks like Ariel,
She does a little bit.
but with
Yeah.
blonde hair.
Yeah.
So they get dressed, they go to the presidential dinner, which is, very high
Oh,
profile
yeah.
and fancy, and there's all kind of important people there. And as they're leaving, Cornbluth finally gets her and sprays her down
Finally
with
sprays her
water,
enough water.
and she's on the concrete with her tail just a flapping. And
It's so
this
sad.
part actually is kind of
It
sad.
really is.
I really
because
thought this part was
then
sad.
all of a sudden, she's a freak.
She's a freak.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh my gosh, weirdo. And they want to capture her to study her as a mermaid,
Yeah.
which is exactly what they do. And so they take her to this secret lab, and a lot, not just her, she and Alan are both held in the tank. And in fact, they held him for like 12 hours because they were waiting for him to turn into a
Yeah,
mermaid.
merman. A merman.
A merman, which of course he doesn't. Um, And he's shocked about this whole thing. Like, he's really upset. He's kind of like grossed out. I don't know if grossed out is the word, but I felt like he
He didn't want anything to do with her.
He
And what it
reacted.
made me think, I thought it would have been better had he remembered immediately as he saw that, oh, you're the girl who saved me in the water.
Yeah.
But it didn't go that way. But I will say something here that it made me think of a little bit of E.T. Because like E.T. was here, and then when they found out, they wanted to study him. They were all about trying to find him and study him. So that kind of was a nod to E.T. for me.
100%. I can totally, especially like going to the lab and all that.
Yeah.
Totally see that. Well, when they realize he's not going to turn into a merman, they let him go, and she's still stuck in the tank, and it's really sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
And he talks to Freddie, and as silly and as ridiculous as Freddie is, he actually is the one to convince him that Madison has made him happier than anyone else.
And he like takes the reins of like, let's go get her. Let's do this.
It's just he's at this point, he's like, you're right. I've got to go back and help her. So he goes to the scientist, Dr. Cornbluth, and he actually, what's the word? Like guilt trips him into helping him rescue Madison. He feels really guilty about what he's doing. And so they concoct a plan where they break into the lab and they are able to get in. They're impersonating Swedish scientists. It's kind of funny.
It was. I thought this part was kind of funny. It kind of reminded me like Pink Panther.
Yeah, this part was funny. And they smuggle Madison out of the lab. They have to put her on this like stretcher and wrap her up and all this stuff. And they go through this crazy car chase because they're trying to get her to the harbor so she can go. Because they know like she needs to be free. She's got to get released into the water.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna destroy her in the scientific labs.
Exactly. It's too much. So they get to the dock, and Madison tells Alan she can't stay, but he can live with her in the sea, but he would never be able to return to land. So, oh my gosh, this whole thing, this is where my questions it was too much. So she jumps in the water. He doesn't go. She's swimming off. There's helicopters coming. They're going to dive in to get her. He is watching her swim away, but he just can't let her go.
He can't handle it.
Even though he can't swim, he jumps into the harbor.
Yeah.
And she, I guess, sees that he's jumped in and comes over to save him. Of course, she kisses him, giving him the ability to breathe underwater. And suddenly, he's also able to help fight off the military divers that are pursuing them. He can't swim, but he's got some strength,
and he is bowed up.
Yeah, and we do see a little boobage here.
Little side boob.
Didn't like it. And Alan, like I said, he can suddenly swim. And so they swim away together to an underwater kingdom. And she kisses him and is holding his hand. And as they are swimming, there's super cheesy music playing.
Yeah.
Super cheesy. Like, to me, it felt like even like pre-84. Like, it was like late 70s.
The final scene is very cheesy, very dated.
It is awful. And like, he takes his lab coat off, like he's like gonna swim, and I'm thinking any second now
He's going to turn into a mermaid.
He's going to turn into a mermaid.
I thought so too.
I'm like, what?
I forgot he didn't.
And they get all the way down to like King Triton's kingdom.
Lair, yeah.
And they just keep on swimming to it. And I'm like, so what's happened? Is he turning into a merman, or is she just going to kiss him every time he has to breathe? Like, I didn't understand. I needed some closure on that. Or was it like, hey, my dad's going to turn you into a mermaid, like how Ariel's dad in The Little Mermaid had like the magic?
Well, we don't know. We have to suspend belief, and maybe they kept it over. I thought it was.
No. What do you think they would have done? Like, what's the answer to that?
I mean, I think eventually he would have had to become a merman.
Like King Triton would have been like, here you go.
I guess. I don't know.
They needed to clarify that, because that was silly.
It was, which leads us right into talking about if it measures up, and it did not for me.
Me either. I'm telling you, I loved this movie so much as a kid. I remember as a kid loving the ending so much, to the point where in my mind, I probably didn't, but in my mind, I was like cheering at the end. Like, I loved it. I was like, oh, they're going to be together. She got away. Hooray.
I don't remember not liking the ending, but I didn't remember the ending. And this time I certainly didn't like it. I was like, wait, what? Like, come on. Yeah.
We need to have some explanation for that situation.
Yeah.
It did not measure up for me. It was cheesy. There were like major gaps that I was like, I don't know why it was hard for me to suspend reality in this, but not like Gremlins. I don't know, but
yeah. Maybe it's because we have such preconceived notion because of The Little Mermaid that we were like, this doesn't fly.
I guess, or maybe because in my mind, as a kid, I loved it so much, and then rewatching it now, I was like,
yeah, same.
Not. I wasn't happy here. So, anyway, it did not stand the test of time for me, even with the cool mermaid tail and all that. So,
I mean, it's still worth a watch. It's not like if you haven't seen it in a long time or you've never seen it.
Oh, I disagree.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Turn it on while you're folding clothes.
No, you turn something else on.
Okay.
Turn on Rain Man if you're folding clothes.
That's right.
All right. That wraps up this week's Rewind. But before we go, we want to leave you with a few clues about what's coming next. Can I just say, before we say the clues, now that we've gone through this, I do not understand how they won Best Screenplay for this.
Yeah, I don't either. All right, let's get into the clues. Clue number 1. Next week's Rewind isn't actually a rewind at all.
Oh, clue number 2, we're breaking our own rules just this once, maybe.
Maybe not. And clue number 3, this one might even make us rethink what this podcast is called.
And that is all we are saying.
Oh!
That is all we are saying for now. No other hints.
No other hints. Trust us on this one and come back ready for something different.
And as always, if you're enjoying our podcast, leave us a 5-star review, take a screenshot, and email it to hello@realsistersrewind.com so we can send you a Real Sister sticker.
And we'll see you next time, Real fans. Bye. Bye, sister.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.